Hi everyone. Sorry I'm a minute late. We're having some internet trouble, so Zoom was extremely slow to load up. We'll give it another 2 minutes. We have a lot of people on the call already, which is wonderful, and then we'll jump into doing our introductions. Thank you everybody for calling in. Okay, I think we should just get started with intros because there's not going to be any less people on the call to get through. My name is, sorry, we're also a little short-staffed at the co-op today, so I might be a little bit just looking out a lot to make sure that crew feel good. I'm Melissa, I'm the co-op's general manager, and I'm one of the regular co-facilitators of the Ivy Community Network. Welcome to anybody whose first time it is calling in. We've got a lot of people on today, about 33, I think. We love to start our meetings with a land acknowledgement. Even though we're not meeting in person, we are still on Chumash land, and we like to acknowledge that at the start of our meetings to kind of ground in. So we would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and pay our respects to elders both past and present. We honor the traditional territory as well as the story and contributions of the Chumash people to the land upon which we gather and create. Thank you guys. So we like to start the meetings with introductions. If it's your first time calling in, you can just give your name and where you're calling from. You can just say your name. If you have a short announcement, this is the time for that. So ideally anything like 30 seconds and under so we can get through announcements in time to jump into the agenda. We now on the agenda have an open section called Burning Issues or Open Forum. That will happen after the 3rd District report. We started that last meeting, and that's really just kind of a catch-all agenda because sometimes we have COVID updates, sometimes we have other updates, and so we wanted to just offer that space. So without further ado, let's kick it over to Jonathan to start intros.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan. I'm with the General Manager of the Community Services District, and I'll be muted today because there's construction at our office, and it's very loud.
Thanks, Jonathan. How about Deborah?
Hi, everybody. I'm Deborah Anderson. I'm the Assistant General Manager, and I'm not in the office because Jonathan's in the office. Good to see you guys.
Thank you. And again, if you're just calling in, I use the participant panel to call your name. So if you have that open, you can sort of see the flow that we will try to stick with. Next up will be Anastasia.
Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia and I'm a 4th year sociology major.
Thanks for calling. Sorry I said your name wrong, but now I know it. How about Angela?
Hi, my name is Angela. I'm from John's Ecovista class, and I'm also a 4th year sociology major.
Thank you for calling in. How about Jackie?
Hi, everybody. Jackie Curta, representing UCSB's Alcohol and Drug Counseling Program. I wanted to just give a quick update on behalf of the Health and Wellness Program at UCSB, who is organizing the COVID Ambassador Program for the campus. And they are just in the process of identifying funding sources, identifying students who can serve as ambassadors and be, I know their main location is right outside the co-op where they're planning to set up tables and distribute lots of information, and they're looking for other, identifying other spots in Isla Vista as well. I'm going to put Charlene O'Brien's email in the chat for anybody who wants more information or has people they think might be available to or willing to help staff the project. She would be very grateful for any assistance and happy to answer any questions. Thanks.
Thanks, Jackie. And yes, this is happening at the co-op on Wednesdays. It's a very COVID safe mechanism to do COVID safety education. And it's a great opportunity for students to learn and participate. They're handing out care kits, they're handing out free organic produce they're sourcing from the co-op. So it's a pretty cool pop-up that we are getting to host. And I know they're really looking for more locations. Yes, to Joan's question, I'm sure that Charlene would be really excited to dial in a little bit more about how more support can we have. And I think that I can even ping Charlene as we're kind of working together as being one of the sites. And I'm sure Jackie would be happy to.
Yeah, I mentioned to Charlene that since I was attending today and she was unable to, I had a feeling third district would want to know more about it and try to be involved as well. So I'll make sure that you have her email, and I'll make sure that she knows how to contact you as well.
It's a great program.
It's a great program. It looks really good outside too. They're doing a great job. It's very a great reflection of a lot of intention, and we're happy to host it because it really just looks good, and they're doing a great job being very, very safe. So thank you guys. The participant panel is crazy. How about Haley?
Hello, everyone. My name's Haley. I'm here with Coastal, and I'm just here to listen and learn. I did want to say that next Wednesday, we're going to host a cannabis education event for people that want to go deeper in the industry and just how to get involved and kind of those things. We have some people that are members of the Ivy community and some UCSB grads that are going to be on the panel speaking. And yeah, I can share with you guys the flyer at the end of this if you guys want it.
Just put anything into the chat panel, and if you want to email it out, you can email the Ivcn email address, and we can forward it along also.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Totally. How about Angela?
I think I went already.
Oh, you already? I'm sorry. The panel is moving. It's like a changing panel. Ash, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Ash, they, them. I'm in Ecovista and Food Not Bombs and RPD. I got a couple quick announcements. RPD has a meeting tonight. One of the things on the agenda is accepting a resignation. So that means if you're interested in being on the board, maybe come to that meeting and find out more about the next steps for that. And there's some other exciting things on the agenda too, but you can all look at it yourself if you want at ivparks.org. The Ecovista announcement is you're all invited to our General Assembly tomorrow at noon. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ash. You can stick anything in the chat that you want us to pop out also. How about Akmika?
You put it in the chat.
I see. Thank you so much. Audio not great. So Amika's here reporting with the Daily Nexus, which is great to know. We have a reporter listening in, and she's here to see what's happening in the community. Thank you for calling in. How about Blair?
Hi, everyone. My name is Blair, and I'm in John's Ecovista class as well. I'm a fourth-year sociology student.
Awesome. Ariel, should I refer to you as Corporal Ariel?
Technically, yes, that
Cool.
would be the case.
Congratulations. Corporal Ariel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Corporal Ariel Bournet with the UCSB Police Department. A few of you on this call have pointed out that I'd never made an official announcement that I got a promotion, but yeah, got a promotion. Yay! Cool. That being said, it comes with a few more responsibilities and job duties, and so I obviously haven't been around as much. That's by design. I'm trying to learn to trust my team. Gary and Tori come to these events, and I trust that they're doing a good job representing. That being said, if you ever need me specifically for something, I'll put my email in the chat. I've loved working with all of you over the years. So I'm excited in my new role. And like I said, never feel like I'm out of touch. Send email, text, I'll do whatever you need me to do. But other than that, I will be relying on Gary and Tori to get the job done.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's exciting. How about Elijah?
Hey, everyone. Elijah Ettinger here with Cookies Retail Community Engagement. No reports, just here as always, and looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thanks, Elijah. Okay, is Fresh Phone a person or just like a secret phone that called in? Are you the owner of Fresh Phone?
That's funny. Yeah, this is Aaron Jones.
Oh.
So now you know my alias. Aaron Jones, he, him pronouns, Director, Educational Opportunity Program, also Interim Director, Multicultural Center. Great to see and hear you all. Quick announcement, you may already be aware there was a prayer and act of civil disobedience this morning at the San Marcos Preserve by many of our community, including our local Shumash community. This falls right in line with the land acknowledgement that was just spoken. I think about 8 people, all people of color, were arrested by Santa Barbara County Sheriffs, and we're trying to seek some legal representation and support for these individuals. It would be helpful. I don't know if the local law enforcement participants could let us know what the charges are. That would be helpful in us trying to garner some support for them. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Sheriff's office is not present on this call. Justin is in training, but I could give him a call now to see if he could pop in real quick.
That'd be great. Thanks.
And next will be Gary, actually.
Sorry about that. You caught me mid trying to call Justin. Hello, everybody. Gary Gaston with the UCSB Police Department Community Outreach Team. He is him, pronouns. A couple of things I'm working on. I have a scheduled appointment with Rob Murphy of the J. Jim Foundation regarding a Good Samaritan video that we've been trying to shoot. We've had, because of the inclement weather and schedule complaints, we haven't had the ability to go ahead and do the video, but we are set up to do that on the 10th, and that is to expand the awareness of Good Samaritan laws to our community. And then the second one, the entire community outreach team is going to, well, we've scheduled again now for the 3rd time, crisis intervention training. This is the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department crisis intervention training, which trains on mental health response and dealing with people in crisis. It is an advanced class. It's 40 hours long, and we're hoping to kind of up our response to have a more I guess, codified way that we're dealing with mental health calls and crisis services calls for us. So other than that, the rest of the department is engaged with other racial profiling and racial equity style training from UCLA Extension Program, which is a online program set up for law enforcement training. It's great training. I've gone through 3 of the classes, and I think they'll probably have the entire agency wrapped up in the next 2 weeks or so. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gary. Those are great updates. How about Gina?
Hi, everybody. My name is Gina Fisher. I work for 3rd District County Supervisor Joan Hartman, and we will save our announcements to our time to report.
Awesome. And in doing that time check, we have a big roster of people today, so if we can try to keep intros a little bit shorter so we can get through everything, that would be awesome. Moving on to Haley.
I think I already went.
You already went. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the participant list. It's me doing me. Sorry. How about, thank you, Haley. How about Jay?
Jay Freeman on the board of the Isla Vista Community Service District and the Local Agency Information Commission. I'm representing neither of them today. I'm here in my personal capacity.
Thank you. How about Jennifer?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer, and I'm a reporter for KCSB News.
Thank you, Jennifer. And how about Joan?
Joan Hartman, 3rd District County Supervisor.
Awesome. And Janina, and I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong.
That was correct. Hi, I'm in John's sociology Eco Vista class, and I'm a 4th year sociology.
Thank you for calling in. And Katerina? Katerina, can you hear me for an intro? We'll come back to her. How about Kim?
Hi, everyone. Kim Ekwono from UCSB's Dean of Students Office.
Thanks, Kim. And Lisa Osborne.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Osborne with KCSB News.
Great. And Lisa Oglesby. Sorry. There she is.
Hi, sorry, Lisa Oglesby, I live at Food Co-op. No announcements. Busy schedule. Sorry.
How about Lori?
Hi, Lori Goodman. I live at the Youth Projects. And just want to let people know that in addition to foods, we are distributing diapers now at our food distribution and bite appointment. So if you know anyone with young children who is in need, we can help with that.
Thanks, Lori. Actually, Leiloha, why don't you go? I think your name unpopulated. I'm sorry about that.
Hi, I'm Leiloha, just representing the pharmacy.
Thank you. And Luis?
Yeah, Luis, Recreation Coordinator for Isla Vista Rec and Park District. I did want to announce that this upcoming Monday, March 1st from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we'll be hosting our 5th community children's park design workshop. So we'll be going over the results of the our last meeting where we had community members vote on some detailed features for children's park renovation project. And also in the chat box, I will put in an online survey. So for those who weren't able to participate in the last meeting and still wanted to give their input, they can take that survey. So again, yeah, that'll be Monday, March 1st, our next children's park design workshop.
Thanks, Luis. How about Mark?
Hi, everyone. Mark Vukovic, EMHES, 4th-year student at UCSB and a passionate resident of Isla Vista.
Thanks, Mark. And Omari?
Hello, everyone. Omari Pryor, UCSB's Alcohol and Drug Program.
Thanks, Omari. And Shelby?
Hi, I'm Shelby, she, her. I'm with EcoVista at UCSB.
Awesome. How about Sonia?
Hi, I'm from John's EcoVista class, and I'm a 4th-year sociology student.
Great. And Spencer?
Hey everyone, I hope you can hear me. I'm having internet issues today, so I'll say camera off. But I'm Spencer Brandt. I'm the president of the Isla Vista Community Service District.
And Stiel? I said that right?
Yeah, I'm Steele. I'm a 4th-year sociology major, minoring in applied psych, and I'm also from John's 130 EV class.
Amazing. And Viviana?
Hi, Viviana Marzano, Civic and Community Engagement, Isla Vista Liaison and Senior Advisor to Campus Orgs in Dean of Students.
And Yasmin?
Hi everyone, Yasmin from ASEVPMA.
Okay, and we have YouTube recording this meeting. I probably should have said that in the beginning. And then I'm not sure who the 925 phone number is. If you want to introduce yourself, you're welcome to.
Hi, this is Alex Young. I'm the chair of Isla Vista Attendance Union. Just 2 quick announcements. For those who know, we were hosting, we had a grant program for UCSB students for reimbursement if you're in quarantine. That is now closed for everyone's information. We might be reopening it the following quarter, but we'll keep you updated on what's happening with that. And the second thing is IVTU put together a graphic to help explain to people what exactly the state laws are regarding eviction and COVID-19 protections regarding Senate Bill SB 91. If anyone wants that graphic, they can feel free to reach out to me or the Attendance Union. If you go onto our website, you can find our emails, and I'm happy to provide that graphic. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. And
Melissa?
yes, Katrina, there you are. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry. I was driving, and so I had to pull over. So now I'm so I'm Katarina with the Alcohol and Drug Program from the County of Santa Barbara Behavioral Wellness, and I don't have any announcements. Thanks, Melissa.
Yes. And did we miss anybody in these robust introductions? Okay, fantastic. Thank you everybody for calling in, and especially for EcoVista showing up and keeping it regular. It's really nice to have more attendance from the community. I just wanted to take a moment before we jump into the agenda, as Jackie reminded me. to take a moment for Father John Hedges. Most of us on the call probably know her work with Father John. He is very ill. He's in hospice, as far as I understand. I don't know a lot of specifics, but given that a lot of us have done work, he's been in this community, I think, since the 60s, maybe before. He's done incredible work through the civil rights movement as a chaplain that also works on behalf of law enforcement. I might butcher that in how I reflect on Father John, but I just wanted to take a minute to just offer some collective energy towards him through his, if it's a healing process, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, where he's at. It does not sound good, and so I think all the thoughts that we can send towards him would be appreciated. So that's Father John Hedges. If you can picture his face or say his name, that might be something really powerful for him to receive right now. I'm also happy to send along any written messages. I can probably find a contact somewhere if you want to send anything written to be shared with him. Thank you guys for that. Okay. Moving along into our agenda, we're 5 minutes behind, not bad for us. So we'll start with our 3rd district report and we will go from there. So why don't we take it away, 3rd district?
Thank you. I didn't know that about Father John, and I hope you'll get us an address where we can send cards. He's been absolutely critical in reaching out to people in disasters all over the world, and he's been extremely helpful with the unsheltered population in Isla Vista. Still assimilating what you had to say. The board met in a special session on Tuesday to focus on the unsheltered population and look at my internet's unstable, so it was a really interesting. Quickly, the phase 2 program is focused on implementation, and it's breaking down the unsheltered population into veterans, youth, and families as high priority targets initially, and they're manageable numbers in those categories. But we also spent a great deal of time talking about the more service resistant or the long-term unsheltered. And a number of different agencies in the county are focused on this. For example, the firefighters, fire departments throughout the county have been holding sessions looking at 3 different areas: camping along roads in the Forest Service, camping or parking at trailheads, and then the encampments throughout the county, because these are creating more and more fire danger. And so how can we better protect from fire, but also, acknowledge the situation that people who have to live in their cars are in. So they have a fuller report coming. So I think my hope for the meeting, it was that we would, and I think we did, recognize the urgency and that it's likely to get even more reach critical stage because of COVID. So the staff is going to come back to us with additional ideas about what we can do, but very much featured in the discussion was what we learned both from the San Ynez River and then also from the Pallet Park and the People's Park in Isla Vista. And one of the key takeaways is that people in Isla Vista have been supportive of this effort to deal with homeless. What we see throughout much of the county is people complain, but they aren't willing to build affordable housing, and they aren't willing to have a pallet park or a managed encampment or other things. So we really are holding Isla Vista up as a model throughout the rest of the county, and just wanted you to know that. As far as COVID goes, Gina may have more to add, but in our county as well as nationally, cases are starting to plateau. And the reason is likely that the variants are becoming more widespread. We've had steep declines, and now it seems to be plateauing. So again, it's a race between vaccines and these new variants. But what we're also seeing nationally is that in nursing homes, the deaths have really declined sharply. The vaccines are working better even than scientists had thought. And with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that's one shot only, that may be very appropriate, especially in university settings. And so we're just, with Deltopia coming up and the same old message of distancing, no gatherings, masks, etc., we really need to focus. If we want to open in the fall, we have to keep the numbers down. The last thing I'll mention, and then Gina may have more, is that we have rent relief, major millions of dollars coming to our county to get out in rent relief, both from the federal government and the state government. And next meeting, we'll have someone come and talk about this in more detail. If students are claimed on their parents' tax forms, though, they are not eligible, but otherwise, if you meet certain income categories, you are. So with that, Gina, anything I missed?
Yeah, I just want to, I'll just be a little redundant to some of the things Supervisor Hartman announced. 33 counties got to go to the less restrictive red tier, which means more indoor, they can have indoor dining, sports, schools. Santa Barbara County, unfortunately, has too high of an adjusted case rate still. So we've made a lot of progress, but there's still more to make. And getting into the red tier, I think is really, really important. We were very, very, very close before November or in early November. So it still is, we're still all in this together to get that case rate down. We're at 16.9, which is about double where we need to be to get into the red tier. So other counties can do it. I know we can as well. IV's been having a good drop in case rates. We do need to, and this is an opportunity to encourage folks to get tested. We have the no cost. If you have insurance, you should plug your insurance in so that your insurance pays for the test. If you don't have insurance, then it's no cost. But encourage folks to take advantage of the free, so I'll call them free, at community test sites, because that's a part of our ability to reopen, is to have, if we have a lot of people get tested and part of our testing surveillance, and we have a low positivity rate, then that helps us. So the county has a great, if you Google county public health and you go to their COVID dashboard, we have really great, awesome graphics and charts to show exactly where we are community by community as a county as a whole and what the status assignments mean. So does anybody have any questions? And as Joan said, on the next meeting in 2 weeks on the 11th, we'll have a housing specialist talk about some of the tenant and landlord rent relief options available.
Gina, will you put the, I'm sorry. Will you put the COVID dashboard website link in the chat?
I can do that.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, sorry, just really quick, in terms of vaccination timeline updates, is there any expected larger process information to be shared if we're shifting the expected timeline for the different tiers? Is that going to be anything that we hear about, or are we just waiting for the My Turn updates right now?
So let me make sure I understand your question. It's about vaccination.
About vaccinations, and we were in, as grocers, we were in 1B, which we are still in, but I know that was meant to be February in theory, and so I'm wondering if there's any sort of forward mapping with now knowing the scope of what we're doing.
Right. So last week we got a number of shots delayed. On average, I think we've only been receiving 6,000 vaccination doses per week. The last 2 weeks, the majority of those doses have been for second shots, which we have to administer. So there is no timeline for when we will get to go into the next set of 1B, which would be grocery workers. Starting March 1st, which is around the corner, 10% of whatever our allocation is will have to go to educators who are also part of that. And our county is also piloting right now. I think they have, I don't remember the number. So it's under 1,000, but it's more than 100. And they're piloting vaccinations for farm workers, especially in the northern part of our county. And as terms of my turn and the California contract with Blue Shield, we have no details about that. They, the state and our caseworkers, Joan and I, our understanding is that they have not responded to internal county questions about what that rollout is going to look like in that implementation. So we are very much in the dark, much to our chagrin, about what that's going to mean. We did learn this week that the idea of having My Turn and Blue Shield administer was really, there were some counties that were not doing a great job of administering. They were either not adhering to the tier status, they were holding on to vaccines too long, they weren't releasing out to community partners and organizations. Our county was doing a really great job and did not have any of that, none of that criteria applied to us, and yet the state made a big kind of blanket contract, and there's not much we can do about it. So we are eagerly awaiting to hear about the Blue Shield, regardless of when that starts. Like, it's all dependent, whether it's Blue Shield or county public health continue administering the majority of the vaccines or giving through the partner orgs. We need doses. Like, that's just the bottom line. If Blue Shield comes in and only has 6,000 doses to administer, like public health, a week, you're not, we're going to continue to be in a difficult situation. So Johnson & Johnson, as Joan said, is likely to be approved this weekend. I believe they have 2 million doses for the US immediately ready to go. And my understanding is that Pfizer and Moderna are also ramping up for March. So that's the update I've got. I don't know if that helps. It's really just the scarcity of the vaccines. I'm confident our county is ready to get the shots in the arms. Like, we're going to do great at that. We're doing great at that.
Yeah, and the proof of that, I'll just add, it's a pilot program with 500 additional vaccines that we're piloting in for farm workers in the Santa Maria, Guadalupe area. And it's kind of interesting because the growers, shippers, and CAUSE and MyCOP are all working together. And these are organizations that haven't always worked well together in the past, but so they're to be commended for this. We also get an equity bonus of 200 additional vaccines because we have been very effective at getting them out. So that's the state is starting to reward good high-performing counties over ones that aren't getting it out, and we're getting extra vaccines. And I think we're up, beyond the 6,000, but this My Turn doesn't communicate well with the data systems that we already have for appointments and second appointments. And so that's a real glitch in the system right now. So it's tough.
And can I add to, when I first heard about the My Turn and the Blue Shield, I assumed that this meant they were going to come in and maybe have like these super sites, and people could they'd be able to filter in people like logging into My Turn and just like churn in vaccines, right? It's becoming clearer to me that actually what they're going to do is basically what public health has been doing. They're going to get the allocation, whatever that number is, and give to community partners, neighborhood clinics, pharmacies throughout the community. Your Save On, Ralph's, CVS, actually CVS are getting allocations from the feds. And so it sounds like they're actually just going to do the work that public health has been doing. So it is.
Great. Thank you for context. That's my mostly just looking for updates so I can share that with our workers and just know that we kind of know what's happening, even if we don't know what's happening. Now we all know that we don't know what's happening. That was good. Any other questions for third district? Noting the time, we are at 12:35, which is fine. We'll just continue to flow.
I do, Melissa.
Yeah, go for it, Mark.
Hi, Mark Hemhes. I have two questions. One was regarding what Supervisor Hartman said about the homeless population. I know that probably the most at-risk demographic for homeless individuals is specifically LGBT youth, but also LGBT individuals in general. And I'm wondering if there's anything that's looking at those specific individuals in a much more directed way. And that's my first question. And my second question is, I just put in the chat in a response to Lori the CDC's new site called Vaccine Finder to help find available vaccines. And I'm wondering if you have any kind of comment or understanding about how that's supposed to integrate or work with the existing systems that were mentioned.
To your first point, I'm not remembering the numbers that we've identified for unsheltered youth in our community, but it's I believe it's under 100. But we haven't targeted the LGBTQ, and whether I think they're we're going after all youth because we just can't afford to have children not having a shelter over their head. But whether we need to do things differently with that population, I'd really love to learn more about that and be a bridge to thinking about outreach and really, are there differences in needs? Maybe they're leaving their home because there's conflict and maybe they need different kinds of housing options. So I don't know. I'd like to learn more about that. And let's see.
The second question, to make sure I understand it, Mark, is let me pull up the chat. Is you're wondering how the Vaccine Finder, which is put out by the CDC, is going to integrate with the My Turn specifically?
Yeah, My Turn, or any other way that I personally would get notified to get a vaccine, or where I could get a vaccine.
I don't think My Turn. It's not yet ready. I don't think for prime time for our county. For instance, San Diego County has piloted it. I don't know if you are in any of the tiers that are out there right now. If you work in a grocery store, if you're a healthcare worker or something like that, then that would be where you find it. If you're a healthy, young, not affiliated with any of those industries, member of the public, then they have not yet released guidance on the timeline of when folks who would meet that criteria will get vaccinated.
But we're meeting with the COVID meeting today, and we'll ask that question exactly, how that system integrates with the various systems we have operating in the county, and we'll get back to you next week. Would that be okay? Or next meeting?
Yes, thank you.
Lori, Lori says the question is, if you're in a tier, how do you make an appointment? It's when when the county, if you're in a specific tier and the county is ready to move on to that tier. So we're in part of 1B right now. So we're in the part of 1B, we'll make March 1st, we'll be in 1B. 1B's got a number of different professions, including educators, grocery workers, farm workers. Right now, our county, March 1, will have some availability for educators. So we can't go through faster or skip ahead to others, but we might not always be as fast as other counties or jurisdictions. Very confusing process, I know. Does that help bring clarity?
70% is going.
I guess my question is, how do my educators make an appointment?
Okay.
I mean, they're going to be starting March 1st, which is Monday. They are eligible for that 10%. Obviously, that's not going to be all in one day. They're all signed up. They've all been instructed to sign up on My Chart or My Turn.
Okay.
But how does someone, I mean, I hear pharmacies have public health. How does someone actually go about signing up?
Okay, so if you're in a here and the county has said, okay, you're good to go. You're an educator. You're 65, you're a healthcare worker. If any of the pharmacies, partnering pharmacies, you can make an appointment directly with them. And so County Public Health website has a list of those partnered pharmacies. CVS separately gets an allocation from the federal government directly they don't notify the county when that happens. So you can monitor CVS's website. And as long as it'll say at the very beginning, we are currently, in the state of California, we are currently at these pharmacies, doing 65 educators, whatever it is. So you could look and try to make an appointment there. My understanding is, and this hasn't been finalized, for educators in our county, because 10% of 6,000 or whatever, if we had 10,000, whatever it is, it's 10%, that the school districts are submitting a list of their priority to the hospitals, and the hospitals will be calling through that list to say, okay, and maybe they're pulling the list from my turn. I'm not positive about that. We can get clarification. But however, the districts are helping to prioritize, and they'll go through with educators and go down that list. Public health might also be not just focused solely on school districts. We can ask. It looks like you said you submitted a mechanism. So I believe we haven't gotten confirmation if this is finalized, but public health indicated that instead of just having an open, just go find a pharmacy, that when it comes to educators, they'll be calling through the list, is what we last understood. That's how they did it too, by the way. Goleta Cottage was doing that in the very beginning when it was open to 75 plus. They knew they had a list, they could look in their system, and they were calling their 75 plus and saying, come on, come in tomorrow or whatever the day was.
Thank you, Gina. That was super informative. I'll bring us to the time. It's 12:42. So I think what I'd like to do is just scooch through the agenda. Instead of doing the open forum, why don't we move into regular updates just so we don't miss anybody that is on the agenda that might have an update. So let's see if anybody from AS is on that wants to offer an update.
Hi, yes, a few quick updates. The masks we had ordered a few weeks ago arrived last week. They're at Pardall Center. We're gonna start distributing them to the local businesses again. And last week we had our first Deltopia planning meeting. We have our next one next week on Thursday. It was mostly a coordination meeting between all the entities and what the virtual events are gonna be like. But I think at the next meeting, we're also going to discuss the logistics of just how to keep people at home beyond just virtual events. So I will keep you all updated on that. And the execs and I are also just finding out more information about the protest that has been happening today. There might be some students there. We're not super sure right now. But yeah, if anyone has more information about the arrests that have happened, let us know. I would appreciate it. That's all.
Thanks, Sabine. Those are great updates. And I think for future meeting, we do have the intention of using that open forum time to talk about Deltopia. So we'll be very interested to hear updates as that's being worked on by y'all. So thank you for that. I'm not sure if law enforcement on the call had any updates about if Justin had been contacted.
Yeah, I'll chime in for that. This is I picked a heck of a meeting to pop my head back into. I understand this is an extremely passionate moment for many people who know the people that were protesting, and this is one of the hardest moments for me as a law enforcement officer when I can't publicly speak about something. I've gotten in trouble from the past for speaking about things that I'm not cleared to speak of. And so unfortunately, in this case, this was a different department that handled the call, and they have their own public information officer and they have their own deputies. Obviously, our resource that we've all know to come to know is Justin. He's in bomb squad training right now, so he can't speak to this. I was able to talk to him for 15 seconds, and he said he would love to speak to it and he has information, but I'm not cleared to share it because I don't work for his department. So I truly apologize. If you're frustrated, I would be frustrated too. Please know that if I could share anything, I would, but the best I could do at this moment is give you Justin's email. I'll put it in the chat and he'll be able to answer your questions. And then once their PIO has made a statement, I could obviously speak to anything they publicly release, but there's times where we don't want them speaking on our behalf and and vice versa. So we do our best to respect it. And so that's unfortunately all I have for right now.
I think that's really helpful, actually, for that you also talk a little bit about how police work works and the administrative requirements. I think that this meeting particularly is unique because we have law enforcement on, and it's like, hey, there you are, like, answer our questions. And so I think that's a nice process point for the community to understand where the line is. And I think Justin's always been really good at sharing information via email. So if you want to put his email in the chat, I'm sure that will be really helpful. And I see a little bit of chat popping up. Health and Wellness is asking AS about a COVID information station. So I want to just bring attention to that. And Ash, I agree with you at the thought of having Deltopia is kind of crazy to even think about right now. And I completely, yeah, I think it's incredible that there are students working on a diversion tactic, because it's wild to think that this would even be in anybody's consideration at the moment. Okay. Any more questions for AS besides what's in the chat? Okay, we'll move into an IVCSD update if you guys have one.
No, I don't think we have any major updates off the top of my head right now, to be honest.
Okay.
Maybe Spencer or Deborah wants to say something, but I don't think we have anything major to report today.
No.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So why don't we move to a law enforcement update if there's anything else that y'all want to speak into on the meeting? I'm not sure if there's more to talk about.
I do not have any updates other than what I had previously stated about training earlier in my introduction. I don't have anything new.
Great. Okay. Well, then, if that's the case, we can pick it back up to our open forum. We have a little over 10 minutes for anything that anybody on the call wants to talk about that we have not yet talked about. Could be COVID related. We put cannabis updates on here. I know that we have several dispensaries on the call. I don't know if there's anything worthy of updating. Deltopia updates, really anything. So if anybody has a question or something they want, even brought up to a future agenda, this is a good place to just talk about it. Or if you are intimidated by that, you can also just email my gm@ilavistafood.coop email or the Ivy Community Network @gmail. And that's a great way to get on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss? Joanna has a question. Go for it.
Thank you. I've already asked Jonathan directly, but we're ramping up COVID-19 information stations in Isla Vista starting, well, we've already started. Thank you, Co-op, you're amazing partners. We've already started at the Co-op, but we're working on building up to 7 stations in the spring. And I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring out locations. It's complicated, but if anybody had any ideas for a physical location, some of my interns were saying, oh, we don't want to be on between 65 and 66 block of DP. Some people were saying at the very end by Sands would be a good place to set up. We already are secured at the Co-op. And we were looking at just doing the corner of Pardall, kind of in front of, on the sidewalk by Starbucks. But if anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd really appreciate it. And it doesn't have to be live. It can be in the chat. It's fine. Thanks, Ash. Good question, Blair. So the information stations we're modeling it after some other UCs that have done public health ambassadors. And so we're working on that model, sort of preparing for when we are back on campus that they'll need some kind of COVID education stations on campus. And so it is trained advocates or ambassadors, trained ambassadors with COVID kits, including masks, thermometers, hand sanitizer. I think that's all on that. And then we have some other personal care items as a secondary option. Like we're going to carry the Just Call 911 tags from alcohol and drug program, and we have condoms. Again, our primary focus is COVID education and handing out the masks.
I think that Window to the Sea Park is a really good place, and I really like the idea of doing it right at the entrance to not Sands Beach, but to that whole area over there.
Thank you.
Any other questions or thoughts for Joe about info stations? Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, we have about 10 minutes left. Is there anything else that anybody would like to add on to the end of our meeting agenda? Great. Well, it's a beautiful day, so I wish everybody an awesome extra 10 minutes outside. I'll give a quick little plug for the co-op curbside shopping and home delivery program. We would love to keep supporting our most vulnerable community members or just people that don't want to go to the grocery store. We have a robust program that needs more support. Please check it out online. We have our curbside link right on our website. And the co-op is also in our board election cycle. We are seeking candidates to join the board, and we have a lot of info up on the website, and we are doing regular posts to Instagram that will link you back to our page. This is open for anybody in the community that is a current owner of the co-op. You can join the co-op and run for the board. It's a pretty incredible opportunity to get your hands around some of the highest level work that helps steer the co-op through these bigger community priorities that we have. So thank you for hearing my plug. And on that note, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we'll have a presentation from the county housing office. I'll probably butcher this, but they'll be talking about some of their COVID relief programs that are upcoming. So that will be on our March 13th meeting. Thank you all so much and have a great day. See you later.